Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports, your boxing champions.
Good afternoon, everybody. Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports. We're happy to be back in the studios this afternoon. We have a great show this afternoon. We're coming live from Los Angeles. We're bringing on a tremendous fighter. We're looking forward to speaking to her. Let's all welcome to the show from Golden Boy Promotions, SuperBad.
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
How are you, Mrs. Estrada?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on to the Slip Punches show with us. And we really appreciate you taking your time out of your training camp. And let's start off with that. How's training camp going for this mega fight we're about to get into and talk about?
Oh, it's going great. It's going great. And it's crazy to think that, really, I haven't fought since, fighting Esparza, because, my last fight was 7 seconds. But, I mean, I guess it's still good because I went through a whole training camp for that fight and prepared. So, mentally and physically, it was like I was preparing to go 10 rounds, not knowing what was going to happen. But yeah, I'm just excited to just be back in there, because it seems like it's been forever since I've fought. And, I'm fighting Annabelle Ortiz, who has defended her world title about 13 times. And, she's a great champion. So that's a fight that I've been wanting for a long time. And when I first turned pro, I knew that she was an opponent that I was going to face down the line and try to take that belt from her. So I'm excited.
Now, you definitely sended strong messages throughout the past couple of years, winning a WBC flyweight silver, winning a WBA interim. You've really done some really check marks in your career. How do you evaluate your career at this point and where you're at?
I think where I'm at today, I couldn't be happier, but I know that I'm just ready for those world title fights, because that's what I've been wanting for the last couple of years. And of course, it took so many steps and such a long process. When I first turned pro, there wasn't as many women as there are now in the pros. There wasn't big promoters signing women. So I definitely struggled to try to open those doors, and started my career off fighting on small shows, and then went from, thankfully, to Tom Loeffler having me on the huge Triple G undercards about 4 different times, and 2 Chocolatito undercards. So that's kind of what helped shoot my my name out there, is being on those cards. So and then of course Golden Boy signing me. I believe I was their 3rd female fighter that they had signed, but I just want to be the last one standing, and that's all that matters. So I feel like everything has been going great, great steps. Golden Boy has really done a great job at seeing and understanding my vision and what I want to do and the fights that I want to go for, which are nothing but world title fights. So I would like to have all the bouts at 105, all of the bouts at 108. And then, 112 is not my weight class. It's where I fought Esparza. But I would also eventually like to get some bouts at 112 pounds and fight there again as well.
Now, I'll tell you what, East LA, you're an awesome lady fighting out of California. Your dad, Joe, brought you in boxing 6, 8 years old. You were just a baby girl. I mean, you started born and bred really young.
Yeah, I did. And, getting into boxing wasn't his decision for me. It was my decision, it was my choice. And I kind of pushed him and forced him to take me to a gym one day. So getting into that story of how I started, I would watch boxing with him when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. And from the very first moment that I watched it, I just fell in love with it, and it just really intrigued me. And we would watch all his favorite fighters, like Roberto Duran is his favorite, and watch all the classic fights. And then every time there was a current pay-per-view fight on, he would order it and we would watch it. And boxing, my first memories were just being at home with him and my brothers, eating pizza and watching boxing. And I asked him one day, I said, "Dad, do girls box?" And he goes, "Yeah, they do, but there's just not that many of them." And I said, "Well, I want to box." And he just goes, okay, like I'll take you to a gym soon. But in his mind, he was gonna take me nowhere near a gym because that's not what he wanted for me. And I just continued to ask him every single day until he finally like got annoyed and he was like, okay, I'll take you to a gym. So first gym he took me to was about 5 minutes away from East LA, in the city of Alhambra. And he gets off the car and he says, hey, I have a daughter. She just turned 8 and she really wants to box. And the head coach of the gym said, you know what? She's too young and we really don't train girls. So maybe bring her back when she's like 13.
What?
Yeah. So got in the car. My dad got in the car and he told me what the trainer had said, and I started crying. So at that moment is when he really realized how much I really, really wanted to fight. So he took me to Hollenbach Youth Center in East LA and met my first coach there. His name was Ronnie Ravoda. And he says, if you want to box, I'll train you, but I'm going to treat you just like one of the boys. And I said, okay, that's fine with me. And started from there and never stopped.
But wait, the word in the street, you were taking on all takers coming up. I mean, you fought over 100 fights in the amateurs.
Mhm.
You've won nationals. You pretty much worked with no matter who. This was the legacy that we've got from you growing up as an amateur. You a tough cookie.
Yeah, I sparred. I mean, I sparred nothing but boys growing up, and boys that were good, boys that are champions now, like Joseph Diaz, Frankie Gomez was one of my main sparring partners, Victor Placius, like all these guys were just they were just so talented, and sparring them so young is what made me the fighter that I am today. And my dad drove across the country just to get me one fight, because there wasn't many girls to fight. I would weigh in with keys in my pocket so I can fight a girl that was 90 pounds when I was only like 55 pounds.
Wow.
So there's just so many like great memories, and so many memories that like, man, like we really, really struggled and did whatever we could to just make sure that I fought, and then to make sure that I got to where I am today. And now women's boxing is completely different. Like in the amateurs, there's girls, there's so many girls everywhere. So
Oh yeah.
little girls coming up right now in amateur boxing and in women's boxing are just so lucky because they'll never have to experience all the stuff that I experienced.
But I'll tell you what, listen, in women's boxing, you are clearly to us Latinbox Sports, and we read, we read Ring Magazine, we watch fights. You are definitely one of the pound for pound women fighting today in the sport. How'd you get that nickname? That's such a cool nickname, SuperBad. How did that come about? Somebody give you that name, or did you come up with it? How'd that come about?
Yeah, it's because Sugar Ray Leonard is one of my favorite fighters, and I've read his book like over 50 times. And in his book, he talks about how when he was a kid, they would call him Superbad in the gym because he would just he would just beat up everybody in sparring, and everyone just thought he was just super bad. So that's kind of how his name was given to him. And him being my favorite fighter, my trainer was like, that's a really, really dope name. Like, you should definitely go with that. And like, it's different. Nobody really has it. And, what's better than being super bad and wearing a cape and, being that superhero to everyone who looks up to me.
Now I'll tell you what, you have an amazing team, and I apologize if I miss anybody. I know your father Joe, Cutman, Estrada, Big Surge. You just have some great people around you. Give a shout out and talk a little about the team that gels together to keep SuperBad going, because I'll tell you, this is a big world title fight coming up for you.
Yeah, my team is everything. What I love about my team is that everybody knows their place in the team, and that's the best thing, because you have teams where people are trying to step on each other's toes, for even the cut man's trying to step on the trainer's toes, and it's just, in boxing it's just hard to find like that team that just is just all about you and all about making you feel comfortable and make you feel your best so you can step into the ring and do what you do best. So my dad had been training me since I was 8 years old when I first started, all the way up until I was 16. And my trainer, Dean Campos, who's my head trainer, I started with him when I was 16, but I've known him since I was about 10 years old. I've always been around him in the gym because we trained in the same gym together, but I never trained with him. So when I wanted to make that transition to turning pro, my dad and I agreed that Dean would be the best person to take over and to help train me. So that's kind of what happened. So my dad is still in the gym with me every day. He's my biggest supporter. He's in the corner. That'll never change. And then Cutman Surge, he is yeah, he's great. He's one of the coolest people I know. You know, very loyal, does his job amazingly, and my hand wrap guy, Panda Martinez, is the best hand wrap guy in the game. And
It's awesome.
I'm just blessed to have a great team. They're awesome.
Champ, how awesome is that? That, in order to keep it, you got to give it away. And you going into on March 20th, the world title WBA shot. So many young women, so many young men in the amateurs look up to you. They just really appreciate the example that you're showing. And what are your thoughts of that? Because it's so awesome. And give a shout out to all your fans and all the fighters out there that really appreciate you.
Oh yeah, man, it's just hard to explain and to describe the feeling, just to know that I inspire so many people and so many people look up to me. Not even girls and women, but like I've heard guys and boys say that, I'm their favorite fighter and that they look up to me. And it's just, it's the reason why I don't give up and I continue to do what I do. And, and yeah, it's just a blessing to just see the effect that I can have on people. Not even like, not even realizing it, I just go to the gym every day and I work hard and I do what I do, but not knowing that like, when people watch me fight, like it's something that just really inspires them, and I don't really stop to think about that, but like, when I get asked the question just like you did, that's when I really actually take the time to think about it, and it's just amazing. And I just want to continue to inspire people and let young girls and kids and just everybody in general know that do not give up and just continue to follow your dreams no matter what.
Now, definitely, when we speak to Eric Gomez and Roberto Diaz and the family of Golden Boy are just super excited for you. They've really planted a seed in your professional career at this stage to really put you in this position. And we're super excited for you. Now, how humbling is it knowing that, again, we're not going to keep you long because we understand you're in training camp, preparing for this fight, going in there live on the zone in front of the whole world. It's just another day in the office.
Just another day in the office, but I'm definitely, I mean, I've never trained so hard for a fight in my life, and I'm definitely going to show, not only am I going to win, but I'm going to win in a spectacular way. I know that, and I'm just ready. I feel like right now is the best time, the right time, the perfect time to get all these world titles that I want, because with all due respect, like nobody in these divisions deserves to have these world titles more than I do, because I've worked for this since I was a kid, and I just feel like I'm the most talented and skilled, and nobody deserves to have more than I do. So I just want to, I just want to take all these titles that belong to me.
So being right now where you are and knowing your strength, your conditioning, your health, thank God, great health, you as a champion, are you at the prime of your career, or are you just knocking at the door of the prime of your career? Where do you see yourself?
I feel like I never really understood that. Like my trainer would always tell me, like when I was like 10-0, 11-0, you're not even at the prime of your career yet. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like,
scary.
I didn't understand.
That's scary. Yeah.
Yes. And then now I totally understand. I'm like, I can't explain it, but something just clicked and changed, and I feel like it's dangerous, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's just crazy. Like even in sparring, like just everything is just different and better. And I don't know, like I don't know what happened, but I guess you can say it's the start of the prime of my career, which is why I believe that right now is the perfect time to go after all those world titles, because I definitely just hit the prime of my career, and it's about to right now is where I'm going to be able to show why I feel like I deserve all these belts, and why I'm special. I think that's what people are definitely going to be able to see.
The card itself with young Virgil Ortiz versus Maurice Hooker. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
you're on the card, you're focused, and we get it. You know, we know you got to work. But what are your thoughts of that main event?
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that
going to be
amazing?
great.
And what
It
a
is.
card.
Yes. Virgil Ortiz is one of my current favorite fighters right now.
Oh yeah.
Probably my current favorite fighter, actually. I think he's just so skilled and so talented, and like not only does he have good defense and head movement, but he could fight on the inside, fight on the outside. I feel like he just has it all. And he's like a quiet killer, and you get him into that ring, and he's a vicious guy, and I just can't wait to see him take that victory. I know he's going to do it.
Well, it's definitely going to be a great night for boxing for you, for Ortiz and Hooker. May the best man win. And again, we're super excited. We thank you so much for taking your time and coming on the Slip Punches show. Take a moment and give a shout out to all your fans and all your followers and everybody that loves you and believes in you. And it's just an awesome thing, champ. And we thank you again.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all of my fans, all of my supporters. I'm so looking forward to March 20th. I'm going to put on a great performance. Never trained so hard in my life. So tune in on DAZN. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great card and a great night. And thank you so much for having me on.
SuperBad. We appreciate it so much, champ. You keep on punching. And I'm super excited for your fight. We wish you well. We wish you safety. God bless you and your family. And we'll see you fight night, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon on the Slip Punches show. We had a very special show. We thank you for tuning in. We're going to be coming back to you tomorrow afternoon with another show. We will be releasing the name later on this evening. Once again, Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports. We appreciate everybody that tunes in. We thank you, RX Water. We thank you, Empire Pro Tape, for tuning in, empowering up with us for this Slip Punches show series. We'll be back again tomorrow. Once again, Damon Gonzalez, I'm out. Thank you.